Hello again, Bio community. This is Matt, and this is an update video. I haven't done one of these for many weeks, and I do have a bunch of new music to show you. A couple of records, mostly cassettes and CDs, and a book as well. So yeah, let's dive right into it. Let's start off with the vinyl. Just a couple of things. These came from a Goodwill. I stopped by there on the way home one day. We have Clues by Robert Palmer. I got this for one song and one song only, and that is Johnny and Mary. In fact, that's the only song here that I think I know for sure. This album was released in, let's see, late 70s, was it? Well, it doesn't say, but I'm pretty sure it was late 70s. And the still has the original sleeve, so that's cool. And see, it's on Island Records right there. And let's see, 1980. There we go. I knew this would have the copyright on it. 1980, and it looks like it's in pretty good condition. Couple of little scuffs I noticed, but for the most part, it's definitely VG plus, probably bordering on excellent condition. And that cost me, let's see, $2 I think. Yeah, $3, $2.99. Yeah, it's one of those Goodwills, and they put the prices up, but they brought them back down. I avoided this Goodwill for a long time because this is one of the first ones I noticed in Southern California that they really started jacking the prices up, and some of them have gone up to like $5, and so I was like, forget it. And then finally, I went in there last week on my way home from work one day, just on a whim, and they actually had a number of good albums. I already had most of them, but I don't know if somebody had dropped off a collection or what, but I did pick out that one, and I also picked out this one, which is One Wish by Hiroshima. This I'd heard of it, but I didn't know anything about it. It's still sealed, still in the shrink. It's some sort of like upbeat jazz fusion. I listened to a clip of it on YouTube on my phone when I was in the store, and because I was sort of on the fence about getting it. But anytime you find a sealed record, especially one in this case that's 30 years old, you kind of have to, you got to at least think about it, right? So I looked it up on YouTube and had a real quick listen, and I was like, this is pretty good. Would I normally pay $3 for it? No, but it's sealed, and I know what the hell. So I did. So those are the two records. Now I have a bunch of tapes and CDs here. Let's start with the tapes. First up, these 4 cassettes came from Savers Thrift Store. Michael Crawford performs Andrew Lloyd Webber. Michael Crawford is a British singer. He is, or at least used to be, an actor. He was in a sitcom in the 70s called Some Mothers Do Have 'Em. It's one of my favorite British sitcoms. It's the whole, it's ridiculous, of course, but the acting in it's very good, and the storylines are very good, but he's an amazing singer, and I was pretty pleased to find this. It's it's got like Any Dream Will Do from Joseph. Let's see what else I recognize here. Gethsemane, which I think is from Jesus Christ Superstar, I would guess. The Phantom of the Opera, of course, The Music of the Night, which is also from the Phantom of the Opera. Memory. Love Changes Everything. And this is also a Digilog recording. See that right there? Digilog tapes came along in, I think, the very late 80s, and it was a way of transferring digital content to tape. It was supposed to result in better recordings, but this is actually a Chrome tape too, which is nice, so it should have really good sound quality. I also got Learning to Crawl by the Pretenders. This has both Middle of the Road and Back on the Chain Gang on it. Very cool. The Crossing by Big Country. I might already have this album on vinyl, but I'm not sure. I did have it, and I think I gave it away to a thrift store because it had a warp in it or a big scratch or something. So it was kind of neat to find that on tape. And finally, Warren Zevon, self-titled. I do have his Excitable Boy album, which is one of my favorite albums of the 70s. I've never listened to any of his other albums, except online, but I've never listened to anything on tape or CD or vinyl. So yeah, I was very pleased to find that. More tapes. These all came from the Pet Adoption thrift store, which I know Gregory Short is very familiar with. That's one of his old stomping grounds. And I went in this last weekend. I think we were going to get groceries or something, and I said to my wife, I did her a deal. I said, you know, I'll stop in here, then I won't go to Savers later. You know, you guys know what it's like when you're married. It'll be a little bit of give and take, you know, kind of. But I'd been in there, maybe a month or two ago, and I did get one or two records, but they didn't have much by way of cassettes. I mean, they have a lot of cassettes in there. Don't get me wrong, but nothing that caught my eye. But I got several cassettes this time. And what I like about them is they're dirt cheap. They're like 25 cents each or something. It's kind of ridiculous. But I got Phil Collins' Serious Hits Live, which is an album I've been keeping an eye out for a while. I used to have this in England in the 90s. It's a really good live album, so I was very pleased to find that. I got Elton John, The One. The title track, The One, is one of my favorite songs of Elton John's. I think it's a beautiful track. And it's nostalgic. I was 13, summer 1992. Yeah. I got Genesis, We Can't Dance. I do already have this on CD, but I wasn't going to pass it up. This also says that it's Digilog as well. I'm not sure if that's just because the case says it is, because the case has a Warner logo on it, but the cassette is Atlantic, so it might be a mismatched case, but no, that's okay. And then I got Bryan Adams, Waking Up the Neighbors. I do not have this album. I do have one of his greatest hits albums, but I do not have this. So yeah, very cool. This is also on Chrome tape too, by the way. And I couldn't pass this up. Pack of 2 blank Fuji DR1 tapes. Fuji tapes are good. They're really good. And even though they're Type 1 normal bias, they're only $1.75. That's really not that bad. And you know, they're still sealed, so I couldn't leave those sitting there. Alright, now onto the CDs. And these are a real mixture of thrift stores. I think 1 or 2 I bought online, but okay. The Verve Pipe, Underneath. This was an eBay purchase. I do have their first album, Villains, but this has 3 songs in particular that I think are fantastic, which are Medicate Myself, Gotta Move On, and Colorful. And I found this online for a few bucks and just had to grab it. Okay, next up, this is another eBay purchase, Classic Queen. A little bit of an unusual album. I only bought this because it has These Are the Days of Our Lives on it. But it's sort of a greatest hits compilation, but only sort of. So it has Bohemian Rhapsody, Kind of Magic, Under Pressure, Hammer to Fall, Radio Gaga, I Want It All, The Miracle, One Vision, These Are the Days of Our Lives, Who Wants to Live Forever. So you might think, oh, it's a greatest hits CD, but it also has like Stone Cold Crazy, 1 Year of Love, I'm Going Slightly Mad, um, Keep Yourself Alive, Headlong, The Show Must Go On. You know, not really big hits of Queen. So yeah, it's sort of a strange compilation of theirs, but this was also cheap, so you know, like a few bucks, so I figured I'd get it. Another online purchase, The Best of James Bond. I was inspired to get this just because of that James Bond video that I made recently. And this has all of the James Bond theme songs, up to and including Chris Cornell, You Know My Name, from move past that. Lord of the Rings, Return of the King soundtrack. Let's see. This was a buy from Savers. Water Trout, Alive in Amsterdam. It's a double album. Water Trout's a fantastic guitar player, so yeah. And okay, next up we have some more Goodwill buys, CDs. Somebody had dumped off their collection at Goodwill, and I got lucky and got there. It was either the same day or the day after, and before it had been picked clean. And there was some terrific CDs in this collection. Yeah, really, really terrific CDs. And I had to keep myself in check and only spend, I think I spent like 12 bucks or something, but because I could have spent double or triple that, and I really just had to say no. Let's not go crazy here. So anyway, speaking of Let's Go Crazy, Prince, Purple Rain. You know, had to get this when I saw it in the store, right? You know, I didn't have this album. I don't have it on vinyl, but now I have it on CD, so very pleased with that. Also, Coldplay, X and Y. Couldn't pass it up. This was also from the Goodwill. The Essential Leonard Cohen. I think I briefly showed this when I was showing the Beatles album recently. I got to cover something up. I'm sorry. America's Greatest Hits History. I'm covering up a sticker that the owner left on a few of these albums with his address on it. And, don't think I should be advertising that. So I do have this on vinyl, but I did not have it on CD, so I was pleased to find it. I really, really like America. They're one of my favorite 70s bands. You know, I know that, well, they're still touring, actually. I know that they put out stuff in the 80s and so on, but their sort of golden era was in the early to mid 70s, and yeah, really, really great band. Now this is again, I'm covering up a sticker here, but another copy of Phil Collins' Series Hits Live. Actually, I found this one before I found the cassette, so it's kind of a funny thing. I've been keeping my eye out for this album for a while, and I found 2 copies of it on 2 different formats in the space of a week. So very cool. Another sticker I got to cover up here, but Johnny Cash at Folsom Prison. This is looks like an 70th anniversary copy, and still has the stickers on it, so that's very cool indeed. And even better was that some of these CDs were actually marked at $3.99, and there's no way, not at a thrift store, I'm not paying $4 a CD. But I said to the lady working there, I said, have you raised the prices of your CDs? And she said, no, the sign still says $1.99. You know, there's a sign above them that says $1.99, but some of the CDs had individual stickers on that had $3.99, and they were all the better CDs, like that Beatles one album. That was one of them. That was $3.99, and so anyway, I managed to get them for $1.99 and not $3.99. So that was kind of cool. You know, the lady said, oh, they must have thought they were DVDs they were pricing, and I'm thinking, no. They knew they were CDs. They just thought they were better CDs, and somebody would be prepared to pay $4. So, but I wasn't prepared to. And then possibly my favorite 2 items. Again, both of these came from the same collection that somebody had dropped off at Goodwill, and they only wanted $2 again for these. I was anyway. Stevie Nicks Enchanted box set. This is a 3-disc set, and I don't know if it's the entirety of her solo career. It has 46 tracks on it, including tracks from Belladonna I recognize, but it has one or two that were previously unreleased as well. But and a really beautiful, beautiful booklet in the middle here. $2. I'm not even that big of a fan of Stevie Nicks. You know, I mean, I like her, but I'm, you know, I don't. And I think I have one of her albums on cassette, but I think that's about it. But for $2, I'm not passing this up. And then this was even better. This is Frank Sinatra Vegas box set. And again, I'm sorry, I'm covering up a sticker on here from the previous owner with his address on it. This is a 5-disc set, 4 CDs and 1 DVD, and it has live recordings from completely different eras. We have Disc 1 recorded at the Sands Las Vegas in November 1961. Disc 2 also recorded at the Sands Vegas in 1966. Disc 3 is recorded at Caesar's Palace in 1982. Disc 4 recorded at the Golden Nugget in 1987. And then Disc 5 is a DVD recorded at Caesar's Palace in 1978. And this is just a beautiful set. So if I open it up, we get a very nice booklet here. Beautiful booklet, actually, just with all sorts of nice pictures and a whole ton of information. And by the way, these were just in beautiful condition too. So whoever owned these took good care of them. And we get the first two. Each disc comes in its own sleeve as well. And these are like mint. Like these don't even look like they've been played. And discs 3, 4, and 5. Right here. Very cool. And again, I'm not even a big Sinatra fan, to be honest with you. You know, I don't dislike him. I was just never that into his music. But for $2, I am not leaving this here, especially as I looked it up online, and it goes for, well, bare minimum seems to be $20, but $30 or $40 is often the going rate for this set. So I was like, you know, I gotta have that. $2. So, and I got one book too. Let me show you the book. This was from Savers. Jazz, the Rough Guide. You know, I mentioned before I'm really not into jazz, but I thought I would force myself to flick through this and try to find out a little bit more about some of the famous jazz legends, and that way, when I see if I see any records by them, their names will stand out to me, and I'll know to pay more attention. So this was cheap. I think this was a couple of bucks, something like that. So really not bad at all. So you know, I'm just gonna add it to my my very small pile of music books here, and yeah, I'll flick through it. So that's everything, I think. So thanks guys as always for watching, and until next time, bye bye.